Hello fellas and welcome to a new first look. This is the first look at Production Line, which is essentially a game a bit similar to a Big Pharma, which coincidentally this is made by the same people who make Big Pharma, and I think it's the Democracy 3 as well. They've made that, and their name, if you just see, is there. It's the Positech, if you could see the slightly bluish writing, but that's essentially who makes the game. At the moment we are in Alpha 1.1. I don't know if there's point stuff below that, but I can't see. And essentially this is a game where essentially you've got to make a production line of cars. It is quite similar to a Big Pharma itself. But you've got the basic with the options. You've essentially got your aspect ratio. At the moment they only have the one. I think it goes on whatever screen size you've got. You can't change it. Tough. Get what you're given. And there's a couple of others. They've got their own forums, YouTube, and obviously. But we're going to start a new game. And I essentially on this episode, I don't want to essentially make a series of this at the moment because it's so early in the early for it to have like a series. I could just get a quick series in it, but it's not something I'd want to do at this precise moment. But there's 5 different levels at the moment. You've got essentially a small factory, and you'll start with 1.3 mil, a medium with 1.7, a tight budget, which essentially you'll get 1 million, and that's it. A giant factory with 3 grand with 3 mil, and a mega factory with 3 mil. And different ones you'll get the different sorts of different, I don't know. Mostly it's pretty much exactly the same in all of them. It's just different ways of the layouts for the buildings. But we're going to start with the small factory. Basically on this, I'm going to just show you what I believe is a quick and easy way to do it. And the first thing I'm going to do is press the pause button because I need to. Now, to start with, you need to know about 2 things. This is your import and this is your export. You need to get essentially everything that makes the cars out of there and build the cars in here and send them away. Very similar to Big Pharma. And you can expand further on, a bit like something to do with the again Big Pharma, and a little reminiscent of the theme hospital, if I do say so myself. But at the moment we've got 1.3 million, and we're going to get started. You've got the basic home button, you've got your options, it's like the same. You've got your save and load. Well, basically you save, you can't load from there. You have to go home, then load it back up. There's a research. That's where you build all your things you need. That's your cars. You need to sell one to do that, and that's all your finances. So basically, what we need to do first is essentially get an import, because without an import we can't do anything. And this is essentially where all the pieces to the car will come from. Literally, all the pieces. So. First thing you want will be essentially the chassis, and you do this. They're essentially in the order you need to do them in. Basically, you need chassis, body, paint, engine, accessories, electronics, quality, and then export. Now, I don't think you actually need electronics, but you can do. That increases. I'm assuming that increases things like the price of the vehicles themselves. You can get research to unlock new things. I'll have a look at those a little later. And stockpile, essentially, I'll go through that with you and Marsh, obviously. Now, if you press the plus, you need to unlock these, but you can actually make these piece by piece. And essentially, this is how you optimize your area. Because whoops. If I look at that, and if you look sort of in these ones. It costs 67,000 just over, and it takes 26 seconds to complete everything you do in there. This one takes 63, this one 68, this one 55, and that one 27. So essentially, the chassis and the accessories, we could get 1 to every 2 of these. However, I'm going to do it slightly differently, because what I'll be doing, because each one has a different section actually. So let's do paint. This is the one that's probably the worst one for what I'm going to explain. This paint has 4 sections. If you go into accessories, no engine. To engine, that's got quite a few more. We've got engines, radiators, exhaust, wheels, steering. Each one has different bits, but this is the worst one. Essentially, you can put the paint on. Takes 7.9 seconds. Not bad. That's quicker than the export itself. However, the undercoat, to dry the undercoat, it takes 24 seconds, which that's what takes the time, waiting for it to dry. And it's the same kind of story with the actual main paint, and the main dry, 28 seconds. So that's what's taking so long. With the engine, I think it's... get off, go. The engine is mostly because it's got a bit more, but these are about 14 seconds each. But it's got to go through all of them. It can't just go through half of them, it's got to go through all of them. But we're going to start with the chassis for now. And if I wanted, I could put it straight there, but I'm not going to move it upwards. 1. And this, I've essentially played the game for about an hour now, just to sort of get used to it. But the main problem with this game is the when you run out of money, that's it, it's game over. You have that much money that's in there. You can take loans, but if that even touches 0, you failed. And it's not like you fail and then it says take out a loan or fail. It's you fail. You fail. You have a complete canvas sweep. The only way you can get back up to it is if you load your save that you've saved. So I think that's a slight con with the game at the moment. I'm sure they'll change that in the future, with it being an alpha at the moment. But we started with the chassis. That's where you start. The next one will be your fit body, then your paint, then your engine. But instead of doing it the next one in order, I'm actually going to do export next. And you can't rotate this one, but it pretty much has to go at the exit like that. And then we'll go to quality check, and we're going to stick that one straight behind it. That was an auto save. Essentially go from quality into export, and it's done. And they're virtually about, you're not really going to get much difference out of those. 10 seconds, 8 seconds, it's virtually done. So we've got those in. Now the production line stuff, you essentially want to get these conveyors and line them up into these. So let's do it like that first, and we'll do the rest later. I think another problem with this game is I've got here, to get rid of it, you just right click. Simple enough. However, if I right click on here, oh no, we've lost a thing. Which does waste a bit of money. I've got 900, that's half the amount you lose for that. So it's be careful of what you put in at the moment. So we've got the chassis, then we need fit body. Right, if you click the wheel button, you can rotate it, or if you press R, it rotates as well. Now, the exit to this is essentially where that red arrow is here. So I could put it there, but I'm gonna, because I'm gonna want 2 of these, I think. So I'm gonna put mine there, so we'll fit one here, fit one there. Then you want to get the conveyor, put it straight out of that, into the back of that. Now, with these conveyors, make sure you know which way you're dragging it, because that defines which way the conveyor belt moves the cars. So you could do that way, the car will move it that way, put it that way, it'll move it that way. And you can't put like into each other, because then you'll get this and they'll go into the middle and do nothing. And that's just wasting me a bit of cash, but it'll be better to show you. That's that one. And then we want paint. Let's stick that one there. We want the conveyor on that one as well. Now, because we've got this one here, I want to get the accessories on next. How long do they take? 27 seconds, so you should be fine with one of those. So let's just stick that there, I believe. That should fit well. Get the conveyor and drag that there. And then we want the engine. Now we want the space here because we want to be able to get into that as well. So I'm going to stick that there. That'll be the engine, and then it can go like that. And then once we're done paint, this can come along, And I can do it like that, but I'm actually going to put it there and then like that. It's a bit more neater. And that is the basic setup set. However, there's a couple more things I want to do. There's one more thing you have to do, and that's essentially link up all the pallets, essentially where all the stock gets put, and that's essentially up there like that, yep, like that. And then we need to carry this one all the way to the paint up there, and then we need to do it to this one. But I'm not going to go straight to that because I want a stockpile, because this requires quite a lot of materials. This one requires quite a lot as well. However, this only requires one material, so it's always going to have what it needs. However, it needs a lot of loads of different types. If I go into here, look, how many is there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different items. Whereas paint, it needs, I think it just needs paint. That's all you get. There's nothing to it. You need quite a few for body kits, so you could do that if you wanted. If I was to do that, I'd move this one upwards one and then put it there. But it's not a vital necessity. Yeah, I'd move it up one and put this in between them both. I might do it later, but at the moment it will suffice. So I'm going to put this one here to supply this one because it's going to take a lot of stuff. However, you may notice, if you look where the forklifts are, where essentially these forklifts, you'll notice this square is a lot darker than the ones that are around the bottom. And I've noticed if the conveyor belt goes, or the conveyor, if that essentially goes over the lighter ones and not over the darker one, I've figured it doesn't actually stock the actual thing itself. So I recommend making sure the conveyor belt goes over the dark square, because otherwise I find it doesn't actually stock it. So that's what we're going to do first, and that's why I'm going to take that one there after the say, and then take that to this one. And that will essentially stock the entire thing, and that's pretty much everything. Don't want that, that's just expansion of the land. So that is the basic necessity for a thing, for a whole system to run. So if we press 1, then we'll get some supplies through, and they'll go and carry on for each of these, and it'll supply them. I think it supplies them in order. I think, yeah, it's doing this one, then it's doing, no, it doesn't do it in order, it does it to the ones it can see first. But let's see, speed it up. Let's press 3. It said just 1, 2, and 3 for that, and pause for pause, and space for pause. Not pause for pause. You can click it pause if you want, but space is easier. It's there. Right. Also, what I want to do is I want you to go to supply stockpile, and I'm going to go on here as well. So I want to stockpile with the things that you can see listed here. So let's get a flywheel and starter motor. So flywheel. Let's get a starter motor. Valves, radiator, exhaust. So all the way down to valves. And this is something I wish they'd add. So developers, if you're watching this, if you for some reason you are, put a search bar on the top of here, because it's annoying to have to scroll all the time. Valves, radiator, exhaust. All the way down to R for radiator. Exhaust is should be just about here. There it is. Wheels, tires, brakes. So that's wheels. Wheels. Do tires. Let's just do one for now. And then brakes, and then it's just the steering column, steering wheel. Let's go down to S, steering column, and steering wheel. Now then, what I've figured out, what I think is probably the best ratio for now, is essentially put a 2 of essentially. If you see, there's 2 types of set you get. You get things that it needs 1 of, and things it needs 4 of. So flywheel, it needs 1 of, I recommend you putting that to 2 for now, and then do the same with everything it needs 2 for. Valve, it needs 4 of, and I recommend you put in essentially 1.5 cars worth for the ones with 4. Radiator, it needs 1 for a car, so 2. Exhaust, 1, so you want 2. Wheels, it needs 4 wheels because it's a car, so you want 1.5. Tyre, 1.5. It needs 1 for each, despite the fact the wheel already comes with a tyre. Brakes, 4 brakes, so you want 6 in total. Steering column, 6. No, you need 1 of those for a car, so 2 of those. And the steering wheel wants 2. Now, that would be an okay setup. However, what I've noticed, because this game is in alpha, proper full-on full-time alpha, let's just go to that menu. I've noticed that this engine thing, the assembler, this thing tends to supply a lot more valves than it needs. I've seen essentially 80% of this filled with nothing but valves. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to kill off these valves, and I'm going to set everything that it requires 1 of to an extra 1. So 3 flywheels, 3 radiators, 3 exhausts. Keep the wheels and the tyres and the brake exactly the same. Put 3 on the rest of them, because you can only have a certain amount, and that essentially I think works well, because wrong button, that one. And then this will supply a crap ton of valves that it needs, because it's all it ever does, and so you could do that. So at the moment we've got 550,000, which you might think is a lot, but that's hardly anything. That will go very quickly. I mean, it's took us 8 million to do just this bit. This is $8 million worth of stuff. So it's not a cheap thing to do, and plus you need to purchase all these parts that come in. You need to buy to make it turn into the car itself. So everything that happens, so you got to pay for all this stuff. Then you got to pay for the build, pay for this equipment, pay for the building, pay for the paint, pay for it to be all done and everything. Same with the engine, and same with the accessories, and that's before you can actually sell the car. So this car has probably cost us, before it's even left the there you go. I don't think it says itself. I don't think it even says there either. Let's try that one. There we go. It's cost us. It's been 36 grand approximately we've spent on the car. That's in the last hour, and we've played for about 2 hours. So that's 14. So yeah, we're losing quite a bit of cash there. And that is partly because we've spent loads as well. But because if we go to expenses, the expenses are 36 grand, and that's paying for components mostly. There's half of it in components. There's 9 grand in rent, because you don't buy the lots. There we go. There's the new vehicle. So you don't buy the land, the office you're working in, and you rent it out, and it's like God knows what prices per square meter. But essentially, with first one, we need to name the type of car we got, and because it's that kind of styled, I'm calling it the modern now. 10 points if you can get that reference. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to essentially, this is essentially the pricing for the car. Apparently a fair price for that car is 1,600. So that's at that, but I think that, I'm not certain, but that I think that is essentially all the costs of the car, I think. I think that essentially just define all the costs of the car. And then we've got the QA for it is with quality assurance as well. So we can sell it at essentially the same price we make it at, or we can sell it for less, or we can sell it for more. I think the way he's selling it less, I think you can maybe get servicing later on in the game, and that's where you get most of your money from. Because to be honest, That's where a lot of car companies get their money from as well, is the servicing. A lot, because you know the Bugatti Veyron, that £1 million one, every single one that's made of the Bugatti Veyron, that's any of the kinds, for every one they make, they lose a hell of a lot of money for each one they make. And that's why you get half of these supercars all limited, because it costs them too much to make. Otherwise they can't just mass produce them, because they just cost too much. And then they get the money back when you go taking the car to get serviced, or if it needs a new set of brakes, because it doesn't use standard brakes, it uses its own special carbon kind of brakes or something like that, and they'll be costing like £3 a piece. So that's where the money comes from in those kind of aspects. But at the moment I don't think the game has it at this point in time. I'm assuming in later games you'll get new types of cars, like you'll have your hot hatches. I think this is the basic hatchback, looking at the back of there. But you'll be able to get your saloons, your 4x4s, your sports cars, your supercars, hypercars, your trucks. Hopefully get some muscle cars, get some hydraulics on them, get them more bouncy. But what I've worked out for the cost wise, I've figured about 75. You could, if you wanted, just double the cost, double the payment for the thing. You'll get twice as much. However, these take a hell of a long time to come out your showroom, so I recommend about 75%, and you can do that. It will take a bit longer for you to do it, but for you to sell your cars, but you do get, I think, a lot more outcome for your thing, and it's not a huge amount. If you put it at the 0, you'll get it. You'll go in and it'll be out within about 5 seconds. At 75, I've noticed it could take about a minute or so. At 100, I don't know, because I put it at 100. I don't think I sold a single one when I did that. So I thought I was just losing money constantly. So you need to have quite a huge backlog to do that. But we're setting at 75. We've got the one car at the moment, and this should go relatively soon. Probably in a minute, I think, max, mostly. I mean, look at that. Remember what I was saying about the thing? You can't move these. Developers, make it so you can move these. Look how many valves are in that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 valves. That's 3 cars worth of valves just in there. And I think that's one main problem with this. So, oh, there we go. Car's gone. Autosave. So, developers, fix this one, because we don't need 3 cars worth of valves in here. So, take note of that if you ever want the game. The game itself, if you wanted to buy, is on pre-release, pre-alpha release. And don't bother looking in Steam, because it's not there currently. As for when I'm recording this and when it goes out, it's not in Steam. We are planning to put it onto Steam in the future, but they've not said when. I'm assuming they're waiting for probably the beta release, most likely. But at the moment, if you want to get this, you need to get it from the site itself, and I'll put a link in the description for you to head over and have a look at yourself if you wish. I think it's about I think it's £8.99 if I remember correctly, which is, I think, it's about maybe $12 plus or minus tax, because I know you guys don't put your tax on and then you have to work it all out, and it's completely different tax rates. But so this is essentially a decent setup for now. However, as you can see, we have a hell of a lot of backlog here. So we need to essentially get a second line going so that we can get more cars through here as quickly as we can, because they're taking too long, and with all this backlog they're not going up here. So to do that, we need to build another body factory. But before we're going to do that, I want to do something else first, and let's get a research office on. So I'm going to put that one there. I want to get some research. Now, considering how new and undeveloped the game is, there's a lot of research you can do. Excuse me. For starters, accessories. Just accessories, you can get horn, lights, and seats, and I'm assuming they make you have better types and better quality. Bodies. Look at the amount of body stuff you can do. You've got body frames, that's the bumpers, arches, door stuff, you get door panels, windows, manufacturer, so you can make your own stuff. And I think this essentially means you can make your own pieces and get more of the profit because you're working on your own items rather than importing items from another company. I'm assuming that's how it works. The same with roof, trunk. Oh, that's very American. It's not a trunk, it's a boot. Hood, it's not a hood, it's a bonnet. Roll cage. Yep, they're planning something with sports cars and rally cars and things like that. Chassis, you've got axles, actual manufacturer, you can make your own. The specialisation, you've got front, rear and drive axle, drive shaft, so there's your 4x4s. Fuel tanks, make your own fuel tanks, so import them, save you some money. The engine stuff is the assembly. You can essentially split it into different parts, like you can make essentially your flywheel, your starter motor, and your valves. You can make them yourself. Exhaust, you make them yourself. Radiators, steering stuff. You can make your steering yourself. Wheels, you can make all your different types of wheels and your brakes and your tyres yourself. Paint one's a good one to have because that means you can split it in pieces and essentially make it so you can paint like more. You can paint like 2 at a time and have 3 drying at once, and then you do the same with the next section as well, and that's essentially a good way to do that. And then you can to high pressure machine makes them quicker. Robots, you can get more robot arms to make the main factories build the cars quicker. Efficiency is probably one of the ones that is most likely to go to. That's the one I'll be doing research. I'll be doing improving efficiency, and the main reason is for essentially these ones. You want the speed really at the beginning, so you want things like faster resource imports. This one will essentially increase how many items you get per so many seconds through the import hole, whereas this one essentially tells you how quickly they're going to cost the conveyor belts. Power plant efficiency, I haven't a clue what that is. Fast drying, turbo drying, max dry. This essentially gives you how quickly it's going to dry, which again will help this a lot because it's the drying that takes so much time. Conveyor belts, you can get the cars through your factory quicker, also save. Factory expansion lets you buy all the expansions around the outside. Administrative, computerized sales, that increases the things like your marketing stuff, or is that down here? Yeah, I think that means marketing, so you can have like different types of marketing campaigns, so you can get the extra other stuff, put like certain bonuses on, get cheaper stuff, make people buy cars more often. Advanced production, so you can actually make your own metal and start making your own pieces yourself. Power, you can make your own power to save you on the rent, the power, how much it costs for you to use the power. Safety features, things like anti-lock brakes, cameras, tire pressure, steering, spare wheels, things like that. All that increases the essentially desirability of your car and the cost you can sell it at. Same with driver assistance, the same thing. Got cruise control, adaptive and traffic aware. Security, central locking, increase the pricing. All this lot and pricing. Windows, sunroof, light, tailgates, light, all the same thing. Music, Bluetooth, voice recognition, which is a pile of crap in every single car that has ever had it. Because so I won't bother that. Front aluminium body as well. Again, make it lighter for your sports cars that you can't buy yet. There's a lot of stuff here, considering how new the game is. I don't know how long the game's essentially been on release. I don't think it's that long at all, because I only saw it through my Facebook. Was it like Thursday? And it's something about 4 days ago, I think. that's essentially what I've seen of it. And I didn't even look at it. I literally just went onto the site and had a quick read through what there was and just, yeah, goodbye. And that's essentially the one research. I've got that one on now. So let's speed this up. I want to get this speed up, but we want to get another set of these in, but I don't want to do it right now because of the amount of cost it's taking in. I could do it right now. Let's see if I can. Let's do the body. Let's get the body out. Rotate. Do that one. Now, make sure this is where you've got to really make sure you know which way your conveyors are going, because when you get to here, if you do that, like that, there you go. That can quite go wrong quite quickly, and we need to get the resources to that. So let us let's go like there and then to there. That's going to send the resources to that. We're going to get most of the chassis is going to go this way now, so that will split them up. Essentially, this is what happens to your zoom. There's no toggle for this; it's just zoom basic. So, and basically, you just got to essentially get as much as you can, as quick as you can. The main problem will be getting the cars through the system quick enough, because if you look at here, well, we have made profit, but not a huge amount. We've sold 6 cars in the last 24 hours. So in that, well, 6 hours pretty much. So we've made 169,000, and yeah, 169,000 in the last 24 hours, and we spent nearly 300,000. So that's more than half. We're almost halfway to making profit, which is very nice. Before we do that, I want to do the paint job next. This is the one that's gonna, unfortunately, probably gonna cause a bit of chaos. Now let's get the conveyor and do that, and I'm gonna link them up, and I'm gonna do exactly the same there. Why did you have to do that? So if it does that, what I recommend is instead of just right clicking, because you're likely to demolish something you don't want to, hold shift, and then it won't delete the thing that's underneath it. Well, not in the immediate stuff anyway. So I could do it that way, and then I can get the conveyor back out. It goes around, which is a bit annoying. I don't want that, but do it that way. There you go. Remember, don't right click anywhere like that, because it will just cause you to lose something. So like I said, when I was down here, it got rid of the conveyor belt. Well, do it over one of these, you're gonna lose your thing. I think what you need, fellas, is a confirm button. Like, do you want to destroy this piece? Because no, you don't want to destroy something like that. But look at the amount of valves that are on there. It's ridiculous. It's not like there we go. Look, I've accidentally deleted conveyor belt. It's very easy to delete something you don't want to in this game, so be careful of what you're doing. See, and I've just done it again. Go over there. Do it that way. Now, let us speed up. So hopefully we'll be able to get a few more cars through now. And they should start backing up down here very shortly. Now, see, there we go. Now, at the moment, these cars can go this way, but these ones can't go this one. These ones will always go into this one. The ones here can go either this way or this way, depending on which one it needs first and most of. Now, because of essentially it's quite a thingy, I'm going to spend an extra 50 grand on research, because it's going to take some time for it to do itself anyway. Let's have a look at the budget. Expenses. We're on 430k, and we've made 28. So again, we're still just over halfway. which isn't that bad at the moment as far as I'm concerned. We are making money, we're just making it quite slowly. But as long as we're in the green, you are perfectly fine, and that's knackered. That needs fixing. It does look like we're going lower, but that's partly because I'm buying lots of stuff as well, because that's the main amount you have. But if you look here, the green one is essentially your income, red is your expenses, and your profit is essentially both of those put together. See here, we made profit. Essentially the blue line is essentially your profit. If you're above that line, you've actually made more money. And if below that line, you've made less. You've lost money. But at the moment, we are sort of hovering up and down here. Wow, that was a very lack of expense. Must have had everything already in stock, which is good, I suppose. We never sold a car either. So we're not doing too badly yet, I don't think. But essentially, we need to get more cars out per hour. So now look, they're all backed up down here now. So now what I want to do is build another engine station. But this is 134 grand. So that's one you want to sort of hold off on until you really need it, because it's, like I said, it takes a lot of money, that does. It's probably the best one you're gonna need, because with no car without an engine, right? But it is very expensive, and to be honest, engines are very expensive. Right, let's throw this in next door. That's got us a lot of money gone. Right, I'm going to pause it for now. Right, conveyor belts, let's send that way for now, just for the sake of it for now. When we want the conveyor, we need to send it this way into that, and then out of that. Oh, and you have to overlap the one you're going into, otherwise it just cuts it off, I think. That should start working now. There we go, we've got 3 more cars gone that way. And I think they go sort of evenly between which ones are good and which ones aren't. Yeah, see, it'll fill these spaces before it'll go into here. But we should be lagging, losing all the getting nice. Here's all the stuff we're getting in. Let's put that fast forward. Research done. Whoop. Oh, that was good. Right, I want to get on resource import so we can get that quicker, and that's what I do want to get really quick. So if we look now, income, we've sold 500,000 and 600. We're only 150,000 off. So we've nearly made more than we've spent. We're very close. How many cars have we actually sold? I didn't look. Expenses, 19 cars we've sold, which isn't too bad. I think we're doing quite well, I think. And this is essentially a quick basic setup. There's a couple things I reckon you could do to help it along, and that is essentially put in more things in, like this importer, which could do it, but it's 66k. So I can do that, but it's gonna really put charges on to you. So really, you want a nice chunk of cash before you start building things, because once you've done it, it's done. You're not really going to get much money in your back. And if you delete something, you only get half the resources, the cash back for it as well. But yeah, that's a quick setup. Let's put it that way. I wish that, fellas, if you're watching again, please can you turn this into a toggle rather than a zoom thing, because I want to see what's on it rather than what everything's doing. Right, I'm gonna get this one on. Do that there, and conveyor. I want to get this essentially to there. So do there, then to there, and because it's quicker, do that. That will essentially feed a load more through here as well, so that will increase the amount of import we can get. And it won't just import, I think it mostly imports to the closest one it can get to, but you can sort of it does sort of depend as well, because this one's going all the way down here. It's feeding here, so yeah, it will go the entire distance. I mean, it's taking tires out here for this, so yeah. So yeah, it will fuel the entire area, but it does tend to do the closest one first. We've got 160 at the moment. Blue bar has almost gone higher than our expense bar, so we are technically making more than we're losing now. Profit again, it's still a little under. However, considering how we're doing it now, we should be pretty good. So we've made 818,860, so we're only 40 grand off. That's essentially 2 cars worth, which is the 2 cars that are in here. So I think it's a good one to do for now. I'm not going to make a full series out of this. I can do if you'd like to. Let me know in the comments if you wish. But I essentially wanted to show this off at the moment, because it's the I like my cars basically, and that's one reason for it. But if I really wanted to increase essentially more stuff, to get more cars through, a good way to essentially increase the car, what you're getting out your cars, is to put more things down. So if I essentially replicated this over here, we'd double our production. And I could do the same here. Do one there, triple it, do one there, quadruple it. There's an export. There's 3 here to go to here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you could get 7 more. So you're gonna make, we are making money, so we'll be able to get quite a chunk over time. But and you didn't, just that little bit doesn't take that much. That's quite a little bit of space you're saving that. So doing that, so here we go, we're up 300 grand already. There we go, look at that green line. What we got then? Income, we've made 1,100 to 1.1 million. We're actually in profit. We have made more than we have lost. So we've got 1.014 million there, and we've got 1.1 million there. So we're in profit, which is awesome. So yeah, that's essentially a good quick tutorial on this itself. If you wish to download the game, I've left the link in the description of where you can get it. Please work it out in your own currency, because I only know pounds and pence. But yeah, that was the production line. It's a good game. I want to keep an eye on it for the future. I'll see what we're doing. If you want me to make like a little mini series, so I can add a couple more things, I'll be able to show you more of the research, so we get some of this lot done. This isn't far off as well. We have to get more stuff through here. So we'll get more things, be able to put in loads more stuff, we're able to put a lot more items in the car, see how much we can make with the cars, because we'll probably be able to make quite a lot with the cars after a while. So yeah, let me know what you think, if you'd like me to make an actual series out of this. But at the moment, I'm just going to leave it at this episode for now. So thanks for watching. Leave a like if you like this episode, subscribe to see some more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Ooh, research.